We're in. A 10 hot private. This is the War on Comics. I'm Colin.
I'm Omar.
Listen, see this? This is what they call ingenuity. American ingenuity. This is what keeps us ahead. I think it's everyone, right? We're still number one?
We're still number one.
We're still number one.
Oh, we're number one, baby.
Still number one. Don't listen to anything the haters say. And it's because we know to share one mic when the other one is charging. There's two. Are we doing the reads? We're two in the reads. Listen. Also in the reads. Got the next 5 issues of Tom Strong. If you dug our initial dive of the first 5, here's 6 through 10. I like this pace. I think it gives it some time to breathe, gives it some proper analysis. We're not bulldozing through it, and I think there is some stuff in these that definitely merit some time. Why don't you tell the people your take here?
Let's see. So Tom Strong, much like America, it's this is why I like comics. Everything that's in these is kind of like a send up to comics, but also I think it was like an excuse for everyone involved to just get back into making comics, like the spirit of it. And yeah, it's just a fucking great read for 99 and 2000. Insane. So I think you guys are really going to like this run. I really liked number 10 as well as issue 9. I thought that the peak was at Gibbons, but it just keeps getting better and better. So
we got a Stealth Watchmen reunion.
yeah,
crazy,
insane. Never heard of it. Never talked about. Like, you keep coming with these bangers of just like there's still good shit to be discovered out there. Yeah, man. So what do you think? Should we get into it?
I think that we have no other choice. Let's crack into these.
Let's do it. Sweet.
All right. Cricket on the mic.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys can pick that up, but we are shooting in
cricket infested
outside.
hell.
Yeah,
we're in a nightmare zone in a bunker. The only friends we have are these crickets.
So, believe us, it's annoying as hell in here.
I don't mind a cricket ambiance.
The cricket, yeah, a little nice, like.
I got one in my house. There's one under my fridge right now. He's been living there for months, just calling out to no one.
Just a little song.
There's something poetic about it, you know. Like they're trying to get laid, right? That's why
they're looking. Yeah, this guy's trying to get laid right now.
Yeah, bro, you are
nowhere near.
There's not. You're not. They're not coming to you, brother.
Nah.
But there's still something. I don't know.
Something sweet.
Yes, I'm not an anti-cricket. Don't get it wrong. What I am very much pro is another run at Alan Moore's Tom Strong. This is a fun one. So this is kind of a continuation of the last issue, in which Tom went back to Pangea, fought a goop monster, blasted back, kind of double, triple crossed some folks. And what I guess is kind of the most like a headline catching aspect of this is the Watchmen reunion, right?
Yeah.
We got Dave Gibbons. We got Alan Moore together at last. Nice soft focus. I think that's a painted cover. It has to be actually painted. I don't think digital paint was where it needed to be in '99, or I guess 2000 at that point.
Look at that purple.
Yeah, it's
so crazy.
This is a man who knows what he's doing. But the way these comics kind of run is we got present day and then we flashback, and the flashbacks have been guest artists, which I love as a medium. Here's his Savine, who's I guess I don't know if he has a direct analog to comics villains.
I think he's a mixture of a lot of different people, but it's mostly like a serious take on like a 60s pulp.
Yeah, or like
pulp.
A Moriarty type,
you know,
a mastermind, and he does like this magician gimmick stuff. And I don't know. I think what I love about these is that we're so deep into this world that like Tom Strong has defeated all of these guys that he comes up against so many times that he's just like, look, dude, we can fight, or we can just skip ahead, and I can, we can move past this. But speaking of the past, we got this. We get to see his previous encounter with a young, spry Savine. That's the other thing is Tom Strong ages very slowly due to his
The root.
yes, the mystery root. And man, I'm sorry, it is just good to see the duo back together. This is Lennon and McCartney shit. This is we got 6-panel grids nailed down to it. Watchmen, of course, was more of a 9-panel, it was like
Yeah.
Ditko style. So this is maybe we're still golden/silver age in it, but it's not a total bite of the Watchmen look. But yeah, Gibbons is just so good with that classic. I guess it's kind of an Art Adams anatomy, where it's straight, but it's like just really good, well done. And it's just a nice little pulpy adventure where
fantasy.
yes,
Feels very Alex Toth almost.
for sure. Yeah, and our guy's like, narrowly escaping death, and lo and behold, he's still with us, and he's working with the Nazis.
Just an evergreen villain.
Yeah, this is a real, and so his Tom Strong's wife and daughter are beating ass up.
Yeah,
are taking care of the grunts, if you will, and then I hope our mic isn't going crazy with the scraping. I like it.
I mean, what is that shit where they like the
ASMR
fans rejoice?
Yeah,
there we go.
All smooth it a little bit. Okay, so he's unraveling the plot, and this is so good. It's like the wax museum of all his villains past, and
they turn out to be
boom. Our little Aryan vixen from the previous issue is still at it, and it's a basic. This is like this is like what I'm saying when I say that it's like a really good homage, right? It is like loving, it is pulp, it is like a tribute to the past, but it's also like a really straightforward story and like a good story. Like it's a good twist that he has a little Nazi kid who's been bred with this weird Aryan gene splicing thing, and like
so dark. Yeah,
just from a story perspective, it's like that opens up this how you're raised, or is it your genetics? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I just heard somebody say that today. It's nature
or nurture.
Nature
there
or
we
nurture.
Go. And of course, we're not going to get a lot of nurturing if the Nazis are raising you. But you get the good genes from Tom Strong. So
hold on, guys.
Yeah,
I have to stop here. This is my bread and butter, dude. This is like this is my fucking era.
You're a big Res 3 head?
I was a big Dino Crisis head.
Oh, okay. Now we're talking.
I wasn't like old enough to rent this, but I was allowed to rent this because it had dinosaurs in it. And at that point, you could still rent the PlayStation, but it was a weird.
You had to drop a fat deposit,
dude. It was everything.
Yeah, moms had to really have your back.
That for sure it was almost like like on layaway or something like that.
No, I had a friend of mine who was like a spoiled kid.
Oh shit.
Probably ruder ways I could put it, but I'll keep it jovial. Say he was a spoiled kid. And I worked at Hollywood Video, and he would rent the N64 from Hollywood Video, and it was like I think $25 in like $1998 for the weekend,
which is a
lot back then. And then also deposits and blah blah blah. But needless to say, that was not. I couldn't do that.
Because you would have to rent it every time.
Yeah, and he would do it. Like, I mean, look, Christmas was the big event. That's where you got your console if you were to get a console, and it's like you were entitled one, I think, as a youth. And of course, my gen, there was like one pivotal Christmas where it was like you call your friends up, and it was like I got the SNES. I got the Genesis. Sick. I got the TurboGrafx 16. Whoa to the kid who got the TurboGrafx 16. He had a hard fucking row to toe, man. It was not easy for
You're
him.
not finding games for that thing very easily.
It was
like-
fucking lit though. I got to go over to his place and play Bonk. I got to go over to my other friend's place to play Mario World, and then they come over to mine to play Sonic.
Fuck
So-
yeah, dude.
Everyone was kind of winning in that scenario, but yeah, that was some real like hashtag '90s kids action. However, my point being, Christmas comes around, you say, "Hey, mom, give me the point was you get one."
Right.
No one in my friend group was like, "Yeah, here's the trio."
That never became a thing, or I had never heard of that until like the vintage gamer
Oh yeah.
trend was
And
going
that's
on.
why we're mutants, is because we're
I
just
think
chasing.
so now,
we're
man.
just chasing that. We're just getting what we didn't have as kids. See, this looks like my speed here.
That right there,
Asteroids
N64. This was the updated Asteroid.
Was it any good?
It was great.
Regular Asteroids. You play Asteroids on like an
Fuck
arcade
yeah.
console. That's nuts. That's the one where it's like a vector, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Such crazy good controls on that.
The Asteroids, simple things done well. Like that's
black and white. This is there's a reason we're still talking about Asteroids, and
right.
you have to read these comics to hear about Asteroids 64. But we're not here to talk. This is not a cinematic.
Yes. No, we're back on topic.
Yeah.
This Tom's strong.
Oh yeah, my point being, get your fucking N64 on Christmas.
Yeah.
And then that's renting it multiple times a year. You're paying for the console.
Basically, I mean, yeah, it was a way to try it, but I think
I'll give you one max that you get to rent those on. Someone probably rented like a Jaguar from like a local place and like avoided a really bad decision by getting to play it once. So that person gets my respect. But the part where we're just going, this is your default, is just going every week to get the N64.
Insane.
I don't know if he had a PlayStation, because that was that gen, right? It was N64 PlayStation.
And N64 at one point had a better game library than you could find here in the States. I remember for the PlayStation 1, you had to go to get pirated games, install a chip into your PlayStation to be able to play the games from Mexico.
Oh wait, maybe am I tripping? No. Oh wait, what was GameCube in competition with?
GameCube was in competition with PlayStation 2.
Oh, that's a sad fight.
Dude, yeah, no, that was. Yeah, I love the GameCube, but that was not even close, man.
Yeah, because PS2 just lasted a long time.
PlayStation 2 was the highest selling console ever made, or ever produced, because of how long it sold for.
Yeah, they did the shrink down version and all that.
I'm looking for one.
A PS2?
Yeah,
they're not just around.
They probably. I mean, when I was going record hunting and stuff, a lot of the houses that I would go to, you'd see them lying around.
Yeah,
my son had this for, his high school years. Forgot about it. I keep it around.
They're hot like that now, though.
I don't know if it's. I mean, in general, I think the internet has created like you said, a monster with every kind of fan.
Right.
But PlayStation 2 in general, it is moddable, and you can. There's just a good amount of stuff you can do with it, but it's also they had the most amount of companies working on software.
Yeah, but I mean, a used PS2 is tough to come by.
I bet not. I mean, I'm just starting on the journey. Right. I bet you they're out.
Check back in a week if we haven't gotten the PS2 by then. We're in
Something's
trouble.
going on.
Yeah.
Going
I think it's not. I think it's manageable. Number 7, the father and the son.
So this I really enjoy the Tesla stories.
They're so good, and it's good character design.
Yeah.
It has that. It is very Saturday morning cartoon style.
Johnny Quest. Who's the who is even the Herculoids kind of?
Oh, okay, yeah. It's just good tone, and all the costumes are really good.
So good.
They did a great job with and it's kind of what's sad about this whole series ultimately disappearing is they did all of that foundational work. You have an origin story, you have good characterization, you have good character design, good costuming, good world building, blah blah blah, and then it just sort of ends. And who's our? Do we have a guest artist on this one?
Yeah, this was Gary
Frank. I'm not familiar with this stuff.
I'm also not, but I liked it. I thought it was super cool.
Yeah, and I don't think it was very. It was like super retro pulpy style. I guess it's they're going for that futuristic look.
That was cool.
Like a story kind of.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not bound to a particular style. They're not doing shtick, I guess.
I would love to see as like Image Comics as this is giving this whole kind of story. I would love to see an old man Tom Strong like series.
Well, yeah, I guess we're in the future at this point because he's fighting his son, who's like become a real prick, you know, and hence Tom Strong's got gray hair, and I think that's why we got they kind of ground us in that with the this is very Weapon X, right?
There you go. Yeah,
very Barry Windsor Smith, which was kind of the precursor to the Image stuff. So when you get down to the proper, it's not as over the top like Image style as it could be.
This is sharp. This is super like clean.
But you still get the sense that like maybe if those comics were contemporary, if you were to try to give a vision of the future in the 2000s, maybe they would look a little something like this with the exaggerated faces and whatnot. But yeah, it's just your basic dad humbling the son story.
This is when was Invincible coming out? Because I never got into that.
You're asking the wrong guy, brother.
Because I think this is also my little brother really loves Invincible, and he's kind of been telling me a little bit about it. This whole kind of story gives Invincible vibes. Yeah,
it's like a father-son thing going on there, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I guess we have and this is, of course, like a vision of the 2050 future, and he doesn't like what he sees, so he breaks the mirror. And as this is going, of course, you see, old Sabine's reason for all these capers is to sort of extend his life here because it's ending. Party gets broken up by the ladies and the monkey.
This part's sick. She just spares her life.
Yeah, because the kid's looking, and I guess there's still an asterisk on if it's his kid or not. And then
it's like the artificial insemination.
Yeah, there's I don't know. She could just be lying. I guess
that's true.
Reason for it could be open if you were to go in that direction.
If you read, I'm just noticing in this particular issue, the whole editorial, whoever's on the letters or whatever, has been pretty placid. But then this issue, they get a little snarky.
I mean, look, you gotta talk your shit,
Dude, did you see that the offices are in La Jolla?
Yes, that was that's what I think that's where Wildstorm always was. Hence,
really?
Yeah, hence Jim Lee is just such a staple at Comic-Con and everything.
Oh, okay.
There's some sort of SD Comic-Con connection, or maybe that's it's like you come here from wherever you are, and then you visit San Diego for Comic-Con, and you're like, dude, I'm gonna start my fucking business somewhere. La Jolla's a pretty nice place.
I mean, that's a pretty sick spot.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, if you can get in before the rent got too nasty, but
Spyro's back, baby. This was a badass. If you didn't play Spyro, man, I would highly suggest.
Even I was a Spyro.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, for PS1. You know what? Or that's what call them scalies when you're a furry but for reptiles.
Sick! I'm so down.
So yeah, I played Spyro and I walked away without being a scaly. So I'm calling that a dub. Mark Schilling for asteroids. And
I wish I could say the same, dude.
I am a Game Boy Color supremacist. As difficult as that is. So when do you see?
Look at that.
How often do you see these ads? If you hate video game stuff, you're probably really pissed off at here. So
I mean, if you do, whatever.
I'm listen. You have to. I can't be crazy here and saying that it's nuts seeing print ads.
It's insane.
In the year 2000. This is fucking.
This is
nuts.
crazy. I was gonna say this issue's so sick.
I'm not going to sit around and be shocked that they're
Spike Jones,
advertising. What do you call it? with Pac-Man or whatever, or sea monkeys in an old comic. You know, it's like we've
It's
all
true.
read so many of those. It's like, how many times are you really cracking open single issue, ad-ridden issues from the 2000s?
It's something special. This is actually really fun.
Let's see. I want to say we have a whole different artist this issue.
So this is if I'm not mistaken, Alan Weiss, right? That's
Yeah, it's not Chris Sprouse is the main our artist here. I think maybe
actually
it had to be so difficult to like arrange this. And I forget that's kind of space on what was going on here. Truthfully, I see Wild West stuff. I kind of tune out. So.
It's a kind of just like a boring, like they find themselves in this like Martian town kind of looking thing. They are uncovering this story. Like the town basically gets their mind wiped. Stuff's going on in the background, but it's just a typical like get him there story. Like,
right.
Oh, this was like a romp from. I think they tell you even. It was kind of like a Blueberry story.
Yeah, it's
you know
a
what
Tom
I mean?
Strong's Tale situation. And then we have, and then so Chris Sprouse comes back to this, and we're back to that cartoony style that we saw in the first issue.
Very cool.
And this is some quality, just YA hijinks. You know, was it that the kids were getting kidnapped?
So they don't know why people are disappearing. Like this guy. Yeah, this principal or something like that is punishing them, right, for not paying attention, basically. And it's just like that kind of typical kid story. It was almost like some like Saturday morning kind of
right,
shit.
and it's again kind of the versatility in these art styles in these books. You can kind of go back to something a little more cartoony to tell a lighthearted
That kid's
story.
funny though. Who's Tom Strong? And like everywhere. This story was badass.
This is really wild, man. We're doing like I don't know. I guess when you have just free reign to kind of do what you want, you can just tell these like kind of anthology one-off issues. I mean, maybe they're filler if you wanted to be a little more cynical. You know, you can get ahead of you can write a bunch of these, put them out to various artists, and then when it comes time to work on a bigger story, you have a little movement ahead of you.
Maybe that's some veterano kind of shit. Maybe he knows.
Yeah, get a little bit ahead.
Kind of stuff.
I did like this issue a lot. This kind of goes back to, God, you remember that random Alan Moore story we read where there was lots of fire and the punchline to it was like
"Backs the burner."
Yes.
Yes.
God, what was the stupid punchline to that? Just an old flame.
Yeah.
There we go. So yeah, we're gonna. This is I don't know, man.
It was so cool.
maybe if this was coming out now, it would get pinned as like woke SJW slop or something.
I think so.
But there's some I don't know. That's very it's a little rooted in mythology. I can never remember it, but it's the guy who kidnaps a girl and takes her to hell, and then she has to kind of ends up kind of making a deal where she spends half the time in hell. Ophelius, I don't know.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Anyways, so pomegranate is involved.
Yeah.
Look, man, I'm not a historian here, all right?
Like it's a Greek story.
Yes, but this is like kind of a setup. I forgot this comes into play later. And yeah, like I said, what was that? Who was that guy? Nothing, just an old flame. What about these volcano fellows? What are they like? Hot, Solomon. Really hot. It's a beat for beat remix of that story.
That's so fucking
Not beat
funny.
for beat, but
I mean, this last
he's
section.
going back into his playbook.
Oh,
but yeah, they're exploring this kind of fiery pit, and she kind of gets the hot for this guy, and it comes into play later. Well, I don't know if it's on this run, but don't forget about the lava people.
Okay.
Never forget about the lava people.
Sick.
What the hell is this?
I have no
nonsense?
idea, man. Stanley.net.
Yeah, the pitches Stan Lee's made over time to try to stay relevant.
See all of that. I don't know how you feel about Stan Lee, but god damn was he was exploited. My guy was.
Oh yeah, because in his last years especially, he was just a conservatorship, right?
Yeah, man.
And there's just a special place in hell for anyone that abuses old people. I think. I don't think I'd
for
be
sure.
too controversial in that take.
I don't think so. And like I just bring it up because I just saw there's a documentary coming out.
Yeah.
And it's one of his handlers or whatever that was.
Yeah, it's like me and
this.
Stan Lee.
That one, man.
The guy who made the movie is like the one who was being a scumbag.
Yep.
I heard about this stuff.
It's so bad.
Yeah, I can't. I'm kind of like uninterested in Stan Lee in general, but definitely like once you get to he's just an old guy. Yeah. It's also just sad to watch. So yeah, I don't know, very little interest. I try to just breeze past it because it's like I think there's like this. There's just being dumb and being like, oh, Stan Lee invented comics or whatever the fuck, There's just not knowing how things work and hyping the guy up. And then there's being like, fuck him, he wouldn't be anywhere without blah blah blah. And there may be more truth to the latter than the former. Like, yeah, pretty much anything. There's not a whole lot of bad things you could tell me about Stan Lee that I would be like, no, not Stan the man.
Not Stan. Surely not Stan.
Yeah, so I get the hate, if you will. Yeah. But it's just kind of a bad look. I don't know. But if someone's dead.
I think that's the big part. It's it's like they wrung him dry until the very end.
Yeah, it's not like a Jimmy Savile thing where it's like he did real evil. Like he did. I mean, from all accounts, some things that I do not think a person would live a long, happy life doing to others.
Dark business
stuff. But
shit business dealing.
That said, I don't think he's like, piss on his grave level evil either. So I try to just kind of like, just tune out Stan Lee. So I also kind of think I don't know. I find those really old. I feel like he botched a lot of those old Marvel comics.
Yeah.
I mean, just the sheer amount of dialogue on every panel and all that.
Going back and fixing people's work and shit like that.
Yeah.
I mean, there is definitely some botulism going on.
Well, it's like the kind of the worst thing you can do in comics, which is tell and not show. It's like the whole point of a comic, and I think a lot of what makes modern comics modern in feel is like, I mean, this is somewhat text heavy, but it's fucking Alan Moore. He can be text heavy as he wants, but like there isn't a paragraph after paragraph about what they're seeing. The Stan Lee thing is like, here's a statue I'm looking at. Look at that statue. It is a statue. They all looked at the statue.
Like 7 points on the same thing.
Yeah, when it's like you could literally just have nothing written. And we would know they're looking at a statue because they're looking at a statue. But
is there at all any Stan Lee that is like, oh, that is an example of great writing?
I mean, I guess you get into that issue of like, well, what is writing in comics? Because I think from like a dialogue perspective, I find it very tiresome to read. The whole like, I don't know what to do about this situation I'm in. On one hand, there's this. On the other, there's that. Golly, I'm just I'll plumb out of luck on this stuff.
Externalizing internal thoughts.
Yeah, like holding the hand of it. It's like basically the best. So that stuff I think is just all objectively bad. However, credit where credit's due. Like the world building, the lore. Like if you want to just, I think it's an easy thing to just say, like, it was all Jack Kirby, it was all Steve Ditko, he didn't do anything. But like connecting the tissue and like having them all play on the same playground, and that is pretty. It's really impressive. And again, so it's like on a panel to panel situation. Like no, there's no like I mean, I guess with great power comes great responsibility.
Right, there you go. Not pretty, boom.
It's pretty hot, like I get it. But at the same time, like the macro, like when you
Right,
zoom out and
right.
you look at it all, it's one of the greatest accomplishments of the 20th century. Like
Yeah.
you invented myths that are going to outlive us.
Right.
Like it's astonishing. It's
And supposedly he did vouch for a lot of these guys early on. That's why, you know, they kept him around supposedly so long. The artists. So I think he's like just like in that Pussy comic, the Dan Pussy. Like, there's a fair amount of like charlatan going on
yeah, for
with that
sure.
vibe.
Yeah,
But I think that the artist that came out of it, uh, I'm not sure. It's hard to say. Like all that stuff is so nebulous because it's like a generations past us.
right.
But I also, much like you were saying, like I don't reach for any like Stan Lee
Yeah.
work.
I think like Doctor Strange is like a 10 out, like the Kirby stuff is like absolutely 10 out of 10, but it's kind of like 10 out of 10. The good Stanley stuff is because it's so good that it can
Yeah.
overcome the mediocrity of the actual words on the page,
Right.
and his I wouldn't say like, yeah, again, there's not like, oh, you got to read any of his stuff as plain text doesn't work. None of it, I think, is particularly great comics writing. I don't think it, like, again, panel to panel isn't going to be thrilling to read. The stories are fucking great,
Yeah.
but it's I don't I have a you feel it feels a little like gauche to just be like, these are old comics, they're
Yeah.
lame or whatever. Like they're do not get me wrong, it's 100% you need to read those early Marvel comics. Like there's no like, ah, yeah, Fantastic Four, I got it. No, motherfucker, sit down, read
Yeah.
the Fantastic Four. Sit down, read. I mean, Ditko Spider Man, whatever. Like, yeah, you need to read all that stuff. It is like good, but
Right.
you're not going to be walking away from it like, man, the dialogue was awesome.
Great.
Those captions describing the art
It's like the
were
soap opera.
terrific.
Right. Like it's very soapy because
Right.
those comics are good. I like the first Fantastic Four run.
Right.
I don't think I've read it all the way through. Just like scanned for Jack Kirby art
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But like, yeah, I don't. I guess I think of Stan Lee as maybe he was just like the biggest fan. He's one of those kind of like the fans that turn into villains eventually, like that Jim
Right,
Shooter kind
right.
of thing. Like he was like that proto guy of
I mean, he did what he did as a proselytizer for the medium is insane too. I mean, there's no way we're talking about those. There's no way that those comics and those characters take up the space they do as far as modern mythology without like the boots on the ground branding and like hyping and pushing. Like, as I'm always like artist first, I'm
Yeah.
always going to say, like, it doesn't matter if a character is embedded into our cultural fabric. What matters is if is it a good comic or not,
Yeah.
and I there but that said, you can't there's something about reading, there's some aura or power in reading a Doctor Strange or Incredible Hulk comic that's there when you're reading that isn't there when you're reading a Tom Strong, even if it is still a genre story. These are great comics. These are, I hesitate to say better comics because of course it's like one can't exist without the other. It's going to be a more exciting read if you take a stranger and hand them something, but instilling, I think in a way it's easier to write a good comic than it is to create mythology.
Yeah,
To build
I see
that,
what you mean.
to have that. I mean, because again, if it was easy enough to create a Spider-Man and have a comic that just has the weight of Spider-Man when you're reading Spider-Man, because you're not just reading some like flippant thing. You're reading, like, whether we acknowledge it or not, like this these are myths,
It's a myth, yeah,
and like
they're like great story.
you're reading, and
Grand story.
again, even if the story sucks, even if it's like a crappy run, it doesn't matter. It's part of this canon of this saga of this character.
The fables, like
right?
when things start becoming, they're like these just like fuck. It's that Joseph Campbell kind of like meta stories,
right?
But they work in our time,
and they work because they're retold. And again, I think takes a very, 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 very skilled artist, sometimes a team of artists, to craft a good comic. But to build a myth, that's fucking impossible. And Stan Lee did that. And so, like, again, maybe he doesn't write good comics, right. But he does something that's much more challenging. And a lot, those comics do become great in terms of like the craft put into them. And a lot of this is personal taste. Alan Moore certainly would spit in my face for implying that there was, Eric Larson Spider-Man is like a
it's so good,
easier or more fun read than the Ditko stuff. So like I hate to be the guy that's like, well, yeah, you have to slog it out through the early Daredevil, but then Frank Miller comes along and makes it good because there's diehard, right. Silver Age warriors who will, slap me in the face for implying that. That said, tell me you can read like pre-Frank Miller Daredevil and that it has the same level of craft, let's say, like ease of readership.
The Wally Wood stuff, I guess, is like the only cool stuff pre-Miller, right?
Yeah, and I'm somewhat ignorant to it, so maybe next time you talk to me, I crack open those first decades of Daredevil, and I'm like, brother, I was wrong. Frank Miller is
Dude, if you go down that road, let me know, because I've never.
That said, Frank Miller's Daredevil. I mean, to me, that's like realistically the best. Like, that's as good as superhero comics can get before they turn into something else. And I don't know what like I would call like a Watchmen a something else because it's like divorced from IP, I guess. Whereas, but like, month to month, just really substantive, well-crafted superhero specific comics. For me, Frank Miller's Daredevil is just, peak. But there's good, again, Alan Moore would beat my ass for besmirching, the good name of, Kirby, Doctor Strange, and all of that. So it's just it's a different kind of conversation, I guess.
Well, in that spirit, though, if we apply that mindset of, or even like reflect that thought of on Tom Strong, like this is Paul Chadwick who did. He did Concrete, which you haven't read yet.
I haven't, but yeah, that makes a lot of sense because I'm seeing all the details and the really chewing up the scenery.
So we'll look. I think we should look into that as one of our long form.
Man,
reads.
I did not even put that together. That's
Paul Chadwick.
Yeah, that's a crazy guest artist here.
It's insane,
especially when this is perfect for him to do too because we're into the temples with all these like really ornate backgrounds. And I know we did Aztec stuff before, but now we're doing
this Incan or something like that.
Yes, and it's like this kind of like techno blob here.
This was amazing.
Some good cosmic stuff mixed in. And
so all this language, though, would you say like how we were saying about the bygone era of comics, like I think this stuff comes from those like early or late 50s Marvel kind of things,
The story themselves, but it's it's really like, again, in crafting comics, like there's like Steranko could have some shit like this, but that's why he was Steranko,
Right,
and that's
right.
where this kind of stuff comes from. Obviously, they're pioneers, like don't get me wrong, but like this is a very fluid and smooth way to convey your information. It's not too wordy, it's not too slow. It's like a pacing issue,
Yeah.
I think is a big part of what makes modern comics differ from like the silver and golden age stuff. And like I'll admit, I feel like the silver and golden age stuff is a little bit more difficult or challenging of a read because we're not used to things with this pace. Frankly, we're getting to a point where this stuff is a little wordy. If we
Right.
pick up some Image comic off the stands today, I think it'll be we would you just breeze through it. There's so few words. We're going into that direction. Now, I think there's a middle ground to be found, of course. And but no, I don't know. These are just such the two. Yeah, this is just more readable. But I think the readability isn't just the amount of words; it's also the kind of words. Alan Moore, I do think, if I can take off my fanboy hat for a second, his dialogue is a little clunky. If there's any weak point to his work, it's that. But like the plotting and the layouts and all that stuff is what makes Alan Moore Alan Moore. Like, one of my favorite aspects of Prince's music is that he's like just an okay drummer. Like in any other sense, he would be like,
yeah.
no one talks about it, but it's like,
I know what you're saying.
if you drop him into any local band, he's the best. He's the best drummer in any city he walks into, probably. But he's like the greatest guitar player. He's the greatest lyricist. He's the greatest singer. But as a drummer, he's like pretty okay
comparatively to all his other
when talents. He gets Sheila E. and stuff like that, and it's a lot more apparent. But if you listen to like Dirty Mind, where it's just him playing, like those are some four on the floor beats. Those are like boom, boom, he's like boom, boom, boom. He's just playing the song. He's
one take Jake, right? He does all that shit and like.
Well, I couldn't. I mean, I'm not in the room with him. But that said, Alan Moore is one of the greatest comics artists, but he's an okay dialogue writer.
Yeah.
Which I don't think like holds the comics back. I think he knows enough to make that stuff maybe not the focal point, and keep it more, story and plot driven. But
this is all cool, man.
Yeah, this is like some spirit traveling stuff. But yeah, you're not getting pages this sparse in the 60s.
True.
This is going to be a very wordy thing, and they're not going to be laid out this smooth. They're going to be gridded out when they don't need to be, and like these exposition boxes are going to be really taking up some art space.
Yeah. This story was also reminding me of like those early Dark Horse, even like not Eclipse, but like the other kind of like they release Saber and shit like that. Okay. So like a lost 80s story kind of here. I don't know if that was intentional, but it specifically feels like that era. Like,
yeah, and it's again just the freedom to do these like short stories instead of having to take up whole issues with stuff. I mean, there's something to be said about that too, in terms of like what makes these so readable is that they aren't padded out by any stretch. If anything, it kind of you get a lot of bang for your buck with these comics,
for sure.
And I think that was maybe kind of part of the challenge, or I think Alan Moore is kind of like making this fun for himself by creating such a thick lore and deep backstory to these comics, where you can break it up into 3 issues and you're still fleshing out this world. Yeah. You're not like bound to a villain of the week kind of thing. Gotta love the monkey dunking the basketball.
Love that.
This is your dark edgelord, guys. This is everyone that complains about Alan Moore stuff being a little too edgy. It's like here's your edgy guy here. Here's your dark magician.
That's amazing.
We're hooping here. So fun. And I forgot. Awesome. You remember this one? She's up against a speedster of sorts,
and I think it's her friend, or they know each other.
And yeah, she's just kind of causing chaos.
It's just it's just like a little like kind of her own Savine.
Right. Yeah, and I guess it's
It ends up being someone she knows. Though. I remember that.
yeah, so it's sort of I don't know. And again, instead of a full issue of this, there's some very serious things. It's just a little tete-a-tete that ends with the girl getting dressed down by her parents. God, what a good composition
So
this
fucking
is.
cool,
Like
man.
you get the perfect like emotions on the faces.
Yeah.
The and again, when I say like, well, what is comics writing? Like this is what comics writing is because I mean, obviously there's a relationship with the artist, but like you know damn well the script said where the parents are in the room towering over her, conveying the contempt and like writing about all the junk in all the rooms.
Just like the pose, like her.
Yeah.
Just oh, Dad, you got me.
Yeah. Again, just pure craft. Here's a little teaser for Promethea, which we'll tackle at some point. That's something I'm excited to revisit. What's this one?
This was a ridiculous ad for this JRPG.
Oh, Wild Arms 2, is that it?
Yeah, dude.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I don't know what.
They are insane for that. I didn't even get that.
And this was, I don't know how he was juggling this, but this was the next one up, which was like a pure anthology series.
Wow. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah. It's like you got like a Plastic Man kind of character.
I've heard of Hilary Barta.
Okay.
They've mentioned her on Kayfabe.
A lot of them, I think, also did those Lost Girl comics with him. If maybe that was her, but don't quote me on that. It wasn't her. It was Melinda Gibby. But yeah, it was he's just trying to introduce more characters and flesh out this world some more. Those are pretty solid reads too. If you like these anthology ones, you got to check out the Tomorrow stories.
So he's really pushing indie artists.
Yeah, and he's like kind of I mean, of course, in the late '90s, there was no fucking. Everyone was indie. Right. It was such a low point in sales for all this stuff that like I don't think anyone was getting rich in comics at this point. So
it's so cool. I mean, it's sad but cool to me that like I was in an era where this shit was in the gutter and it was still fucking the coolest shit to get.
Yeah,
was comics. Like I think in this time I was telling you I was a big like Sonic the Hedgehog, the Knuckles comics were coming out. There's a bunch of like cool. There was cool Archie shit coming out. With the Turtles, but this is like I don't know. It just encapsulates the era so. I know
well. You wish you could give it to a Sonic the Hedgehog reader, but it was just like
too above there.
I guess so. Yeah. But it's so fun. It's so simple. Like there's such simple stories. These comics should have ruled the world.
They should have. I definitely will give you that for sure.
What a sad dyad here. It's like things that I wish had prominence in pop culture.
Look at this.
And
what could have been.
What could have been and what we got.
Yeah, man. So Deftones was not on my radar at all during this era.
It shouldn't have been. You weren't a fucking juggalo.
But it's
crazy where they're at now, man.
I will look at this Lego. Speaking of where we're at.
Yeah, see, that's still around. I guess I'm neutral on that. That's fine.
Star Wars.
Yeah, you can be. I'd much rather someone be in a Lego than in a Deftones. If someone tells me they're big Lego heads, I'm like, that's cool. If you're big into Deftones, I'm like, oh man.
Who hurt you?
It has like sad T.O. vibes over it. Maybe
That's what I'm saying, dude.
It's like you're either a sad T.O., which is the best case scenario, or just a real aimless.
And if you ain't, then
exactly. Yeah, you're culturally appropriating the sad T.O. culture. All you fucking Zoomers out there, if you're under 25 and listening to Deftones, which is most
listening to Deftones,
which is most Deftones fans.
No way.
Yeah.
You don't know? You see it the most for sure.
I see it the most, but you don't not see it.
I've seen the shirts coming back. I've seen a Motorhead tee on it.
Oh yeah, but that's boomer shit. It doesn't matter.
Okay,
and whatever. Okay. Motorhead shirts are eternal. There's always
so sick.
There was a point. There was never a time when a Motorhead shirt wasn't cool. Fuck. There was a good 15 years where no one talked about the fucking Deftones.
Yeah. that was
my glorious years of like I'm out of high school.
Deftones.
And like, the fucking all the Warped Tour emo stuff just swept all that stuff away, and we were safe forever
for a time.
And then this fucking TikTok comes along, and they're back
Okay.
in it. I don't know what it is.
Do you think it's because millennials like had kids and that's what they put their kids on?
I mean, there's some cool older brother thing. I think
Okay.
definitely
Okay.
like with this all the new metal in general, and like I guess it does like because I'm sorry, you want to fucking do mental gymnastics and backflips to try to convince me that Deftones aren't new metal. Like I understand that that's like a pitch that
Who
you,
says that?
it's for sure like the people who grew up with them that didn't want to grow out of them and they didn't want to say I like new metal because new metal wasn't cool to say you liked anymore.
For a long time too.
Yeah, like a Pitchfork or like one of those kind of like
Got you.
publications that where it's like no, it's like shoegazy. It's like bro, that is. I mean, it's shoegaze for juggalos.
There
Is
you
the
go.
easy pitch, but it's like just no. I'm not giving them no credit to Deftones. But that said, it's like yeah, cool older brothers music and just like being very juvenile. I think when you're young, you're just very dumb. And so there's two things happening. One is just being young and being very stupid, and that's why like I think in a lot of ways music that makes emotional appeal to like low IQ people or is like pitched really for teenagers. That would be like your Nirvanas, your Marilyn Mansons,
Yeah.
your Eminems. It's like for teenagers, and that I think if those artists have a kind of strength or a credit to give to them, it's that they can have figured out how to tap into that like eternal juvenile brain.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like for whatever reason they found that level of angstiness that works in a way that like I don't know crass or like conflict doesn't, you know, like truly like politically incendiary music doesn't really eternally connect in that same way. Whereas like, you know, the pastiche of it, like, you know, Marilyn Manson yelling slogans or something, I think will always appeal to some kind of young person. And so there's this eternal refresh that music will appeal to. And then there's this other phenomenon of people just never shaking the music they listened to in high school, you know, and like
That shit makes me sad.
I mean I get nostalgic too. I'm wound up. I think there's probably a lot of things that I listen to now that if I heard them fresh I wouldn't be into, but since I grew up with them, I have a connection to for sure. But there's a like I have to see you building new foundations over the sediment. You know, like if you, I need to see you go through a heavy jazz phase in your 20s,
fuck yeah,
30s, etc. I need to see you exploring new music. I need to see you like kind of challenging yourself and just growing. And then if you say, but I still like Fall Out Boy for fun, I'm like, okay, that's fine because you've done the work.
Fuck, man. Yeah.
But if all you have is Fall Out Boy and you're just standing by Fall Out Boy just because that's what you listened to in high school and you haven't like developed your tastes in any kind of way, it's like I can't take your taste in music seriously.
No way.
I guess
you're using it for something else.
It has nothing to do with the quality or merit of Fall Out Boy at all. They are neither here nor there. But like there's a lot of people that again because this music appeals to young people, it gets them when they're young and they never develop past that. That's just a really overwhelmingly common phenomenon. It's just your taste in music stops once you can buy a beer legally and you will not develop past that and you won't question the things that came into you during those time and or like you know revisit or reevaluate or anything like that. It's just they're eternally canonized. So by those two powers combined, you have these stronghold groups. I think that's a big reason why Taylor Swift's so popular is because like she has gone like you listen to her as a child because it's like you know children's melodies. There's nothing in her music that like you know is more artistically difficult to take than you know Disney songs or anything.
There's
like
nothing
that.
challenging in that music,
right? So a child absolutely can listen to it. Maybe there's things you pick up on as an adult that you don't when you're a kid. Maybe there's some like wordplay that maybe avails itself to you after repeated listens. I'm not
Yeah.
saying it's completely devoid of merit, but you listen to it when you're a kid, it digs into your brain, and then here's a new album, here's a new this, and you just keep growing.
That's true.
Going with
the
it,
brand going.
and then you have a fucking daughter, and then you're playing this fucking music for her because it's what you grew up with, and you still like it because it's music that you heard when you were in high school, and so it's like this unstoppable juggernaut because it's this perpetuating thing. It's generational, and then that kid is going to grow up listening to these children's songs, and then they're going to play them for their kids, and this is just going to keep going forever and ever.
That's the interesting thing I'm seeing in like commodity. Like I there's definitely pop music, right? That's super popular. But I feel like within that space, there's real artists, and then there's like the commodity artists, like the ones that are going to be churning and burning out of their ass, those songs, which is, I think that's a perfectly fine way to go about making music.
Right.
That's a way. And then there's people that make music that are in that higher kind of like canon. But I think also play into the bullshit of commercial music now, and I think it's because of that sameness that is going on. Like maybe people, they just kept listening to this shit. The algorithm keeps pushing whatever music is trending to people, so it keeps this sameness going on. Like I don't know if you get these kids, but like they only know TikTok music.
Oh yeah.
That fucked me up.
Yeah.
When I first learned about that.
Or they'll be like introduced. I mean, like have you heard of Gary Newman? Like, yeah.
Oh wow.
It's like, yeah, he's trending on TikTok. He's got a
damn for real.
Yeah, no. When TikTok gets you, I mean, I don't know. There's quite possibly less power in the platform. Like
I thought you said Gary Wilson. Dude, I was
not that far out.
Holy shit,
no,
Gary
like,
Newman though. That's
like Cars,
crazy.
synth pop kind of stuff, And I was like, at least that second album, Replica, is quite a bit.
So
good. So it's not like just new artists that it pushes. It when TikTok gets an artist you like, it's like you just gotta
shit, man. Well, the Gary Newman's kind of cool. That's, I mean. And I get so sad with like
it's not all evil.
It's not all bad.
It's not all evil, but it's largely evil. And I don't know that if that's still a paradigm in 2025. I mean, this seems like such a cultural dark age now, like pop music, pop film, all of it. It's like it's pretty rough having a cultural moment right now. And that's why we bury our heads in
good shit in the nostalgia.
Bury ourselves in some old comics, which themselves are kind of have their heads buried in some older styles. Listen, you want Alan Moore to not be a steampunk? You're talking to the wrong guy.
Bad.
Too fucking bad. We're doing it.
This was my favorite issue, by the way.
Yeah,
this whole run.
This is a good one, and then we got. I mean, they're all pretty good ones, right?
Yeah.
Of course, you got to give the shout out to there's still advertising VHS tape.
Boy.
Yes, this is a little bit of a. I don't want to. I mean, I think the Little Nemo stuff is like so specific with its paneling and details, but I don't think it's totally removed from that. It's definitely like turn of the century steampunk as fuck,
newspaper style comics.
Yeah, and we're getting we're doing a super a supernatural kind of twist with this ghost helicopter, and as he's kind of is he looking at what his parents were into?
Yeah, he's looking at their story. So the time machine that he built, it doesn't exactly take you back in time. It just takes you through time.
So cool.
It's the coolest concept.
And so you get to see these things, but of course all the time ghouls reach out for our guy, and he nimbly escapes. And this is again why I like these like kind of short anthology-ish issues, is because you can just like have a flit of an idea and have a pastiche of an art style and just call it. Like This is a full comics worth of ideas. This is a whole comic series worth of ideas
in this one,
and you get like
story.
6 pages. And here we're doing some. We're into the Pogo verse here.
Yes, the Beatles.
Yeah, very Saturday morning cartoon style. And Chris Sprouse just showing his chops again. Like, I mean, just the fact that the same artist is doing this in the next panel. Like, this is a crazy page to see, you know.
And I've noticed that I think since like issue maybe 6, they do created by Alan Moore and Chris Sprouse. So I don't know if that's like an easy way for them to like say, okay, this was a collab, but in the short stories, this was cool.
This is like just some multiverse stuff. I think it's a pretty easy way to do a pastiche where Tom Strong is hanging out with furry animals, the evil Seville. Bro, this is giving some people. If you were one of the kids who were reading these, I think you might be at some conventions right now.
Funny animal
with some people. You might be taking out,
especially this.
Like, you are doing some commissions right now for some. You're supporting some artists.
Yeah,
or not
some deviant artists.
Yeah, for sure.
The Tesla coming out, like, what are you doing?
And then what are we? The great punchline, right?
What were the impressions of the dominant life forms where you were? Oh, sort of fuzzy.
It's just, he loves this. Alan Moore loves this, and I love that Alan Moore loves this. Like, I'm here for like a quick punchline.
It's just like, I think the whole comic is just for him. Yeah. Just so that he gets, that's just for him.
How do you feel about drawing funny animals, Chris? I'd like to try that. All right, say less. Say less, King.
I'll send you pages. This was awesome, dude. This whole series was. Tesla's stories are my favorite. They're still like, they feel like Supergirl, like the one we read.
Right.
They feel a little bit like Wonder Woman. Like,
it's cool, like Lara Croft, Matrix-y kind of look.
So sick. And then this is Helper, definitely. But like is also kind of given Mignola.
For sure, yeah. I mean, and who's also a fucking steampunk warrior, so.
Oh, yeah.
Guys that age, I guess, especially around this period before it got too played out,
Right.
Here's your Supergirl. The cape and everything.
Like the full 9. And then I think this is, these are just her different versions.
Yeah, and this is like a kind of multiverse simulator situation.
Mm-hmm. This is Pops right there.
Like drunk dad. Had to get Saki in to kiss her.
Yes. Dude, this is so gnar.
And even still, we still got to get some back matter here with the kids. So, look, there's and this is kind of like an ad for the different Tomorrow stories and the Tom Strong League. I guess League must have been. I had to look into the history of that. I don't know if those were published originally as in America's Best Comics. There's definitely not ads for them in here. But I guess if I think about it, I don't really know the publication history of those books.
Either.
I had them as I think I have them all as trades.
Nice.
But I don't know exactly. That's such a book that's like out of time. It's like it doesn't feel like it's particularly bound to an era or company style or anything.
Fucked, right? Like the movie swept it under the rug a little bit.
Yeah, and that I'll write hard for at least that first trade. Admittedly, I'm a little foggy on the ones that came after that. But that initial idea, just, again, Alan Moore's like concept. It's like Avengers, but with like romantic era, turn of the century sci-fi stuff. Yeah. Like brilliant concept. And then like the execution is even better. No, that I'll have to crack open some of the later ones because I'm sure they're decent. I think there's like 3 volumes if I'm not mistaken. But no, that's like that comic got turned into a movie and had the reverberations culturally for a reason. It was terrific, but also very, very aggressively steampunk. I mean, I think that's one of the big building blocks of the steampunk aesthetic, if I'm not mistaken.
That's story.
Yeah,
stuff.
Yeah. I think it's like, even though it's like
at least like the coming back of it, because when that movie came out, then we had like Underworld. like shit like that. Like
yeah, we're deep into we're doing some red box rentals.
yeah, there you go. This was, dude, this game.
Because this was a anime or manga first.
So this was a manga first.
You ever read that stuff?
The Vampire Hunter, dude, it's ridiculous. It's beautiful artwork, but I don't understand the language.
Yeah, I've like never seen you with a trench coat, so I don't think you're really,
yeah.
Yeah, you have to like dress like this guy to be a Vampire Hunter D head.
To be a head. Oh man, this was my shit though. Tekken 3, what was that? MDK.
Damn, you a Tekken head?
Yeah, a little bit. Like
I don't think you gotta. It takes a lot to. You gotta like put in work now. I don't think you can be a casual Tekken head.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, Tekken Tag. Anybody got me on Tekken Tag? That one was a badass one from PlayStation 2.
I'm taking Tom Green's advice on that. And then, yeah, we still jam. There was a video game of this.
Dude, yeah.
That's wild. I have never. I think I've like tried to read one of those before, but that is very like. That's like a flagship of the Bad Girl era. No.
Yeah, for sure. This was the, to me, this was the Bad Girl era.
That's a nice art style. Who's the artist again?
I'm trying to see if it's
not
Campbell.
Yeah,
but who is that? Well, if you guys know, I mean, I was actually at Nowhere, and they had a full run of these comics.
Boy, that's
for pretty cheap too.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I cannot speak to the quality. I have a hard time believing it's good when I just see like that digital coloring smear and like
there's one body type.
Yeah, one face. Like I understand, it's just too like the economics were too right, and it's like I know you're just selling to proto coomers,
literally.
Like it is just horny guys, but it's still like cheesecakey, so it's not like it's like PG-13.
It's PG-13 comics, and like in that same vein of you remember way back when, I think episode 1 we read the what's his name, the milk and cheese guy, Ed Dorkin's comics on the
the Ettingtonville, the long title,
the fan club,
Eltingville. There we go.
That so I watched the pilot episode,
legendary, which is kind of taken like page for page from the comic,
and it's good.
It's so good.
Oversaw it and everything. It was pretty sick.
It's great because he did he was writing. He did help do the translations on Shin Chan. You remember the Shin Chan cartoon?
Dude, that cartoon was so sick.
Yeah, the localization and like writing for American audiences as when he was translating it.
Yeah,
he did like a chunk of really good.
Dude, I can
episodes.
Hear his humor.
It's
all over that.
It was like again, if not the kind of thing you don't really need to know that if you're watching it, but like I would I wasn't an Adult Swim warrior, so seeing Evan Dorkin's name on the credits on that stuff, and his wife too, his name Sarah,
Nuts,
was I was like, holy shit, and then of course it makes perfect sense. But I think that must have got his foot in the door or something with Adult Swim, because the Eltingville pilot is like, I don't know if I don't think there's a better like unrealized pilot ever, and he knows it too. Like he has some fans that still talk to him about it all the time. Like to his point, when he did like the kind of last stories, which were like kind of a little bit more current, I think he's like there's a weird fandom for that series,
Oh yeah,
and like
the comments for that video are fucking insane. Yeah,
people remember and people like it, and there's like there's what do you call it when like the girls have crushes on cartoon characters?
Ooh,
like
I don't know.
I think Bill from it, the leader of them,
or something like that.
They got a name, but there's some like horny cartoon girls who are into those characters, and there's like, I think uh, Evan Dorkin's point is kind of that like you. It's almost like a Alan Moore and Rorschach thing, where it's like you don't want to make a character that you want to kind of like mock certain attitudes and ideas
Right.
in like fandom, and a lot of those attitudes and fandoms don't really exist anymore. That's
Yeah.
why part of the charm, why it's so nice to read those Eltingville books. There's such like a stroll down memory lane, like fandom's past or how fandom used to be. But they're also it's irrelevant now.
Yeah.
And also, he was like he was expressly like, these guys are chauvinists, they're jerks, this is like a terrible way to live. And the fandom response was like, hell yeah, these guys are badass.
They embraced him.
Yeah,
I bet you
exactly.
they did.
So you don't want to, if I'm creating a comic like that, or I have something to do with a character like that, it's like, no matter how much is pushed, it's like you don't want people to like it for the wrong reasons, And so I think, and this has got to be some kind of a drag for a guy like Evan Dorkin, who's just seems like just such a good guy to like write these like really chauvinist, rotten characters.
And they like the. I'll keep the counter from last video going. The earnestness of those characters, like he knew those people.
Yeah, well, he probably was more of those people than like he was comfortable admitting. But it's also like, on one hand, again, I would love 4 seasons minimum of the Eltingville, but and I think I would like Evan Dorkin to get paid. I would like him to have all the success in the world, but I can kind of see how maybe it was for the better. It is such a frustrating proof of concept. Like it is just like,
we saw it, and now we want it.
It works so well, but I don't know, man. It might be for the better, but I guess we'll just.
I was also satisfied in reading the story, and because it was a fucking great way to start the podcast. Like that set the tone for what we were looking for, and everything, just that high quality of writing, to have the addendum of the pilot, like,
right?
It just enriches the book to me.
Absolutely.
And stuff like that. Like we were looking at the Danger
Girl, right?
Danger Girl.
Right.
And
that's why we're talking about this, because that is a very Eltingville type.
Like you're not playing that game because you fucking love the story of Danger Girl,
right? And I think like if you're not hubba over these characters, like if you don't get off looking at like skimpy drawings of girls in comics, I think those specific comics are just I have a hard time imagining they're a great read. You could probably, if you really convince me that there's like, oh no, this is not like those other comics, this is the good one, then I'll perk my ears up and be like, all right, I'll give it a shot. But it just seems like, I mean, living through that era too, just like overnight seeing Comic-Con just get overtaken by the lady deaths and the like, just titty comics, erotica being like a big seller, like all the Coomer comics just conquering things. It was a like internet porn world, and that had a lot to do with the success of those. It was still like American Pie era, where it was just like, you could sell a movie based on like there's some titty scenes in it. Like
we were still in such an innocent time.
Yeah, and arguably, could be pitched as better, but like I don't know. It's hard to get like into like that level of like steamy, scintillating stuff now, because it's too much like there's just like infinity gangbangs on your phone right now.
And like just it's just burnt out,
right?
That kind of over not like over sexualizing of stuff, just the amount of like thoughtlessness put into that energy of
Right.
like because you don't just see it in like porn or whatever. It's in fucking ads.
Right.
In any YouTube video, like
Yeah, and it's getting like I don't know
in podcasts.
now that we're bringing AI into it too. Like we are
Yeah.
truly and like even before then, like the filters and everything, even the sexual imagery you would see in
Yeah.
advertising and stuff. It's like, is this a human being? Is there like
yeah,
what is behind this?
happening?
What is going on here? It's so yeah, I don't know. I have a hard time with the like that. I mean, again, the pitch is you get the titty girl comics to see some like titties,
Yeah.
but if you don't care about seeing the titty girls,
Or if it's just if you are grown up and like
right?
moving on past that,
It
because
seems
I took some of those titty comics back in the day. Like
yeah.
I would steal some of that shit, put it in like the other comics that I was buying. I'm not like not in that group back then, but it's like I don't even remember those kind of comics
Yeah,
that
it's
I had
not.
to swoop in.
I don't think it's. I don't think they were intended to be like critically analyzed
Right.
or even revisited.
It's just a one and done.
Yeah, it's just kind of a mean thing to say about someone's art. Like they did.
That's true.
There is craft.
Yeah,
There are people drawing these
that's true.
things, but
And some of them, like I assume, were good.
there has to be. There's so many. I think the big ones was like Grimm's Fairy Tales. That was like popping
I have heard
around
of that.
this time.
Yeah.
Around the like I was going when I was buying these. You would see those in the comic shops. And
I remember seeing that one actually.
I think I even remember talking to the guy in the comic shop. Is this? Are these any like? What are these? He goes, people just buy them for the cover.
There you go.
And like like some pin-up Little Red Riding Hood or like pin up a pin-up girl witch on the cover and well done.
Like they probably look pretty sharp.
Yeah, it's like skill. It's craft to do it, but like I don't know what level of horny you got to be at to be like, here's $6. I'm gonna
$6 back then too. I would have
probably yeah. I mean, for like maybe it was maybe it was more like a 5, but whatever. What
That's
amount?
Still pretty high, yeah.
For a drawing of a girl on a cover and just like filler inside.
Isn't that like
the amount of comics the amount of like
yeah.
issues in the world of that stuff that exists, but like you are never talked about or never like spoken of in high regard. It's just accepted.
To talk about yeah.
It's like they were there's titty girl comics that were popular for a while.
And it's like just I guess not like dirty secret, but like I mean, I see some of those issues like in SoCal Comics and shit like that.
I mean, they kept those. I think the Bad Girl era and the Titty Girl comics. I think those kept stores. Those were a chunk of income. There was some weekend warriors on that stuff. They knew their demographic. They pulled them.
I'm not even gonna lie. I begged the guy to sell me Witchblade. I remember Witchblade was a 16 and up comic.
Okay.
Like specifically, I don't know what that was with the code or whatever, if even they were sticking to that.
Yeah.
But for a certain time in San Diego, and this comic shop in El Cajon, I don't remember. It was by a Guitar Center.
Right.
But the guy, you couldn't buy Witchblade comics unless you were like 16.
Yeah, you brought your mom with you.
It's like,
who the hell is doing that?
So that was my thing. Like walking this from home from school, I would be like, dude, like I think I had like $3 like at the time, just like, come on, man, I'm looking for this Witchblade.
A drawing of like a ghost lady or something. It's like even by cheesecake standards, that stuff is like pretty light,
Yeah.
But yeah, being a teenage boy, man,
it was a rough era, but it was cool,
man. Gotta be better for your brain, I think, than
probably
just having access to everything on your phone.
That's dark.
I don't want to. I guess whatever. What the hell am I doing worried about what little kids
are doing? Exactly. Fuck them.
Neither of us got kids. We don't got to worry about it.
I just hope that I've been thinking about how there's a lot more kids that seem to be moving on from socials and like over being on their phones, like to an not obsessive degree, but like a it's almost feeling like that very special era before we had a lot of social media on our phones.
Yeah.
It's like how we were living with phones but still living life, and now it's more of like the feedback is now coming from the phone.
There's got to be a swing back. There's no way. I mean, to me, I feel like my phone addiction is like it's like smoking cigarettes or something. You know, like
Right,
it's
right.
bad. This is bad. This is bad and unhealthy, and there's nothing good
Yeah.
from it. And it's like you can't have some. I mean, just like cigarettes. Cigarettes are they kind of come back and forth, right?
You're coming back. You know what's coming back actually way bigger than cigs, vape, any of that shit? I'm seeing more people doing the chew.
No,
Tobacco, dude, it's disgusting. By the way,
like spitting
my
chaw.
dude, yes, and some of my best friends, you might be fucking hearing this, but you guys are nasty. That shit sucks. That shit sucks for your teeth. It sucks for me to look at you like chewing on that shit. It's definitely one that like smoke is one thing. That's chill, but
I don't know that smoke is chill, but I'll let you go.
but yeah, it's the compared to this stuff where I know I'm even seeing friends that have been doing it for the last couple of years. They're having problems with their teeth.
Bro, I saw the funniest fucking thing the other day. It was you ever remember that show Small Wonder?
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't judge me. I've just been watching some Small Wonder, all right?
Nice.
You know,
it's like
I did the 80s sitcom model is like fun, and it's just like it's just a nice put it on in the background kind of show.
Yeah.
But they had their big anti-smoking episode, and like where the kids are the kids are get busted for smoking cigarettes because they're trying to fit in with the older kids at school. The older kids at school are like, we don't fucking smoke cigarettes, we chew. And they're trying. He's like talking about how cool chewing is, and like the dad's like, hey, I'm getting you for cigarettes. You were smoking. The kid's like, I don't smoke anymore, Dad. I'm off of it. Look, I chew now. It's way better for you. The ball players do it. That's what
holy shit.
And he's just like, because that's how it's been pitched to him. And the dad's like, he makes him eat the whole thing, and he gets sick.
Oh, the classic.
Classic. And then it's only funny because it ends on, hey, that kid who, he comes home from school all sad, and the dad's like, what's wrong, son? And he goes, well, you know that cool kid who gave me the cigarette, the chew, put me onto that? He goes, yeah. He got cancer.
Oh, shit.
Like a straight up, like eighth grader. An eighth grade kid, jock, got cancer from chewing.
Dude, see, that's why that shit is bad.
Who are you going to believe? Who are you going to believe?
This production, they put all this goddamn time into.
I'm going to believe Small Wonder. They got a goddamn robot kid running around.
That
right?
shit's amazing, dude.
Got
That's so
cancer.
cool.
So hard. I was expecting, he got sick or whatever, but no, he straight up said, yeah, he got cancer.
Even he went to juvie or something like that. Yeah.
Something.
That's so sick.
And like the whole episode, it's just, again, different times. It's just the kids are just really smoking cigarettes. Just have you seen these episodes? There's just this trope of just like
sick.
try and puff, but they just like straight up smoking real
And
cigarettes.
they're probably like those kids did smoke cigarettes.
Yeah, there's no way you could tell me it was like crop cigarettes or whatever. Crazy.
There was no regulation for that shit.
Yeah, I know. They got a little
man.
robot girl running around. Come on, you think they're watching out for them? Jesus, brother.
Is that on assignment for him to watch after we get through some Tom Strong?
I'm not gonna put no. Don't watch Small Wonder. I'm probably on a list right now.
From Small Wonder.
Bro, you're watching a fucking. The dad builds a little girl.
Oh right, dude. It has the same story as the Dragon Ball Z guy. He made it, Dr. Slump.
Oh, and isn't he like a pervert for the
Yeah.
the little robot girl that he built?
Dr. Slump is yep.
Don't watch Small Wonder. You're gonna get put on a list. I'm gonna get put on. I watched it when I was a kid. I could actually.
I mean, that's a kid show. That one was broadcast out in Mexico too, and it was like it's just one of those kids shows.
Yeah.
Like you just
grew up watching it.
Yeah, I'm enjoying myself, but you shouldn't watch it. I know it is not on any assignment.
No assignments.
No assignments.
Go to Internet Archive and.
All right, let's get the hell out of here. At ease. At ease.